Conversation. It's a lost art form. It keeps us connected. It builds community. I am proud to partner with Lunarium in Spokane, Washington, to provide a space to come together and talk to each other. I hope you'll join us as we explore subjects like censorship, cultural anxiety, community, and the creative fight. Welcome to our Community Roundtable. Check out our website for opportunities to come be part of the live audience. Now let's go.
Welcome to everybody who meant to show up and those who accidentally showed up. We love you all. Thank you. I'll just give you a brief rundown of kind of how this goes. I have been hosting radio and podcasts for a very long time. And so this is going to run generally the same, except I want it to be interactive. I want us to have these conversations. I know a lot of you are here for the conversation that we're going to be talking about. But just know, we're here for you. You can talk, we'll have someone out there taking questions as we go through this. But I want to welcome you. My name is Johnny. I have a podcast called The Queer Centric, but this is a podcast that's less about what I do and more about we need to start talking about the important things. I do want to start really quick and say, yes, I'm really loud, and yes, I'm super gay. But this isn't just for gay people. This isn't just for the queer people. Because the importance of what we're talking about today and that we've talked about in past community conversations is important for all of us. We are very inclusive. This is one of my favorite places to be because of how inclusive they are. And I've not found a lot of places like it. So let me start by saying thank you to Lunarium for being so kind to us. They have partnered and been supportive since the very beginning. We did our very first community conversation in February. We do one every other month. The final one of the 4 we're doing is going to be on July 18th, which is a Friday again, and it's at 6 o'clock. We will be talking about the ever-changing and evolving definition of community. And I'm going to try to convince as many people who've been on this before, look at your schedule because I want you back. Because I already know this lovely lady is amazing. So please know that tonight is all about what can we do. Do you, by a show of hands, how many people at times can feel a little overwhelmed and kind of powerless when you look at the news in the morning? Is that something that I think, especially because most big decisions are happening at 1 in the morning, and that's terrifying. And then you wake up and you're like, they made what decision while I was asleep? And I do believe greatly that there's a reason for that. It keeps us kind of off our game. So I know so many people who feel powerless. I can tell you that for me, when all of this started, in my 20s, I was on those picket lines. I mean, this was before I had any rights at all, before many of us did have any rights. And I would do that, and that was amazing. My life has changed a lot, and I'm like, I have to be involved still, but how do I do that? And a lot of people have come to me saying, well, I'm not the guy on the stage. I don't feel comfortable doing that picket line. What can I do? For me, the arts are everything. Yeah. They are a great way to reach out and touch people and get them to kind of feel, because the arts are our one common denominator in this world. It's the one thing all of us can enjoy before we realize that we're not supposed to hear that word. We're not supposed to hear that lesson. And so that was why I wanted to do the creative fight today, and why our guest tonight was perfect for this. I just want to say, if you have been lucky enough to witness our guest performing with, is it the Vaudevillains?
Yes.
Yeah, so evil. The Vaudevillains, or Space Queers, or Vertical Elements, there is nothing like seeing this guest perform. I saw you on Space Queers, and you blew my mind. It is so unique and yet so powerful. So let's give it up for our guest this evening, Duck E. Loveless. Also, I think it's funny. She's known as the sad clown of Lilac City, and yet she's the most positive person I've ever met.
It took some time to get there.
I am typically so depressed at all times, obviously. This is not what I do. I want to start with, I want to talk a little bit at first about your art. I know that when you started, it was a way to process something traumatic in your life. Is that how you approach things? You want to do something creative?
I think that's part of it. Duck was definitely conceptualized at a time that was very tumultuous, and I knew that even if I wanted to escape the reality of the situation of like a very bad heartbreak, like everyone would still know. So why not just amp that up to level 11 and like paint my face crying and just scream outside of 9 and sob openly. And it was a very effective lesson in experiencing that connection to other people through art, because so many people that saw me on the dance floor with my little sign that said, "Don't fuck with me or I'll cry," just were like reaching out and saying, "I see you, sad clown girl," and like, "I've been there and it'll get better." And it was so sweet because I definitely wasn't expecting that reaction.
Right. Well, we were lucky enough to be on an amazing radio show on Monday.
People Talk.
People Talk.
Through KYRS.
Yes, and it was amazing, and you shared this story. And what is fascinating to me is what I find powerful about the arts is people connected to you. People were like, "Been there, sad clown girl.
Felt
been
that.
there, I see you, and it's gonna be okay." And that's what is, there's such a camaraderie to art.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I want us to talk about tonight. One of the most powerful times in my life, I was 23 years old. I was directing my very first play, and I had invited my parents. And let me just tell you, my dad was a Southern Baptist minister, so life was not easy when I came out. But I directed this play. It was about a young woman who had lost her gay best friend to AIDS, and she was packing up his memories in this. It's called Because I Wanted to Say. And I remember standing out in the lobby and my parents coming out of the theater and my mom crying. And I remember thinking in that moment, she saw the message, she felt it in her heart before her brain was like, "You're not supposed to support this stuff." Because they disowned me for 10 years. And in that moment, my mother saw me. And I thought, this is the power of art.
Yes.
This is the power of being connected. And from that point forward, that's where everything is. Is that kind of what your experience is and why you keep performing and coming back?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit fun to be a spectacle. Doing drag, like riding the bus here like this, I think seeing someone who uses like a clown aesthetic or someone who's walking out around in drag can be very jarring and just kind of take you out of the moment and give you like a moment of whimsy, which I appreciate. People will see me at the bus stop and wave from their cars, which is like the positive side of it.
Right.
But yeah, I think that I love showing like a range of emotion through my art to like let other people know that it's okay to express and like fully experience those things.
Right. And for a lot of us, I would think a lot of us here too, that creativity allows us, even though it's terrifying, it's a safe space for those of us who are creative to find a way. What made you land on being a clown? Since there are so many ways we can express if we feel the need to, be creative, what made you land on that aesthetic?
So for me and drag, being an AFAB non-binary person, typically the more commonly known or understood form of drag is like cisgender men dressing as hyperfeminine women, and that is a box that didn't really feel fitting to what I wanted to do artistically. And so my thought of dressing up purely in a hyperfeminine mode didn't interest me as much as doing something a little more alternative and finding clowning and how drag and clowning overlap so heavily. That was really fun to me.
Right.
To do something that would be recognized as drag, but maybe a little more confusing, something different than what people are used to.
And I love that. And honestly, it's like I go to the gym a lot, but here's a gym metaphor. It's when they say you want to confuse your muscles in order to keep keep them growing. I confuse my muscles every day when I don't go to the gym. So that's just how it is. I want to kind of reach out a little bit to the audience. What I love about a show like this is it's like I think of it as it's for the misfits. Those of us who aren't comfortable all the time sitting on a stage. We're lucky and we kind of do both, but it's not for everyone. What is it that makes you feel powerless right now when you're trying to find that different way to stand up? Holly McGinnis over here, one of my good friends, a local therapist, she will have a mic. If anybody would like to volunteer, kind of that feeling of powerlessness, and have you found a creative way to fit in? This is where everybody gets really shy and doesn't. We're super nice. I don't know if you knew that, but we're super nice.
Loveless is a misnomer.
Yes, it is actually. Anybody have an experience where they just, let's go, raise your hands if you feel like you can't find a way to be visible and to stand up at a time like this in culture. And everybody is so self-actualized.
I love that for all of you.
I know, yes, exactly, it's so good. Jim, back in the back, so Holly will come to you, sir.
You have to turn it on, I think.
It's on. Holly will relay to us what is going on.
You're just a real candidate. I wake up in the morning and go, son of a bitch did this today. I'll read about it on Facebook or what have you. And I'll see my friends just acquiescing. I'm not from here. I moved back. I'm just not home. I moved back for 30 years. I'll see my friends, high school friends, all rah with that. It's just sickens me.
Yeah.
My reaction would be, say fuck you.
Yeah.
Straight up fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
I just cannot. No way. I got too many people that are vulnerable, including myself, I guess, because I hate this.
Yeah.
I hate hating other people.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but I know that my passport just ran out.
Oh.
I'm not renew it.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to go through my Facebook, and I'm not going to get my benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a real world thing. I'm not sure what the hell to do.
Right?
Yeah.
And it does, and it almost feels like by design that it's like, I don't know if anybody has heard the things that are going on at the border between here and Canada, and the third degree you get just to go to Canada and come back. Something that is taken for granted by a lot of us who live in Washington. So have you found a way to channel that angst about everything that's going on? And I will say at the end of this, we're going to give a lot of information about some organizations and what they do and how you can volunteer. We talked on the radio show about understanding that any bit we do, even if it's just going down and helping out at like PJALs, is something. It gives you a place to put it. It also means something is being built. I will say we spend a lot of time tearing things down. I live by the philosophy that destruction only begets destruction, but in creation lies life. We can build something new, which is what I love about creativity. And I got a phone call when the election went down. So many people in despair going, what the hell is going on with our country? And I remember my friend saying, we walked the picket lines almost 30 years ago. We walked those picket lines, and I'm tired. And I said, to be very blunt with you, I am too, but we don't have the luxury to be tired.
Yeah.
Because the work isn't done when we're tired. The work is done when it's done. And it takes us talking to each other. It takes us finding that part of us, whatever we can do in the community, to stand up, because the people in power that want to keep us down are betting on us not doing anything. And I understand that moment where you're like, but what do I do? What can I do? I promise you there are ways, but you know what is the start? Is remembering community. That's why this is more than just the queers. Because it's affecting all of us. I don't know if anybody knows the National Endowment for the Arts. They're looking to defund it in 2026 at the next time they do a budget. That's going to take away so much stuff. And the only way that stops is if we find a way to be seen and say, doesn't work for me. And so if it's not holding that picket sign, it's who do I know that also feels the same way? Also, it'd be super nice to start making those inroads between all communities to do this again.
Yeah, I totally agree that anger and frustration you feel is so valid, because so many of us who might want to have productive conversations look at people who are cheering for this administration and say, like, how can I possibly find common ground with someone who wants to erase my existence, basically. And I think the answer to that is finding your community, or finding places at a smaller level where you feel that you will have a bigger impact. Spokane recently passed a SHIELD law, which meant that we had added protections for LGBTQ people, and a huge part of that is public comment. And you don't have to be part of the LGBT community or any, specific community to go and speak in favor of bills that protect our various communities here in Spokane. And I think that making zines is something that I have in my notes. Small forms of artistic expression that you can share with other people to like get those positive conversations going. That like rage and frustration, when I feel that, I try to reframe it as passion, because it shows us what we really care about, which is obviously is like each other and everyone's right to self-determination. So finding your community and finding things you can do within the community to just feel connected and supported.
And being visible is not just about making sure our government sees that we're visible, although 100% important, but we have to see each other. We have to see each other and go, okay, you feel lost, I feel lost, what can we do to do this? I definitely want to say this isn't the first time in history, right? If you look at artists like Nina Simone in 1964, who released the song Mississippi Goddamn, everything to do with civil rights, it's probably one of the most powerful messages. And it, for her, was a way to go, this is my fighting anthem. Yeah. This is how I'm going to go. But I also want to say Larry Kramer wrote The Normal Heart, which did end up being this amazing movie. But before that, he wrote it at a time when gay men were being erased because of the 1980s and because of the AIDS crisis. You look at Leonardo DiCaprio, not him, Leonardo da Vinci, who would hide messages in his paintings that we are still finding today because the Catholic Church would not allow him to say the things he wanted to say. We have been doing this forever, so we're not inventing the wheel, but we're getting loud again, because if we don't, things will exactly stay where they are. I want to say one of the things I love about art the most is I bet you everybody in here has a moment where they remember a song, or they remember something that really like moved them, and anybody want to share like a movie or a piece of music or anything that you remembered the moment and it's never going to leave you? Anybody have anything like that? Because I know you do. So give me one person. Here we go, right over here.
I hope this pertains. My mom brought me to see The Birdcage in theater. The only other couples were other, 50s whatever couples, and no kids or anything. And my mom brought me to see The Birdcage.
Wow.
And she did a lot of stuff like that, and that was big for me. I still remember going into the theater, being the only kid. I was 10, 11.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that also says a lot, because it's a way for parents and your mom to be like, I see you. And this is a nice way that we don't have to an uncomfortable conversation yet, but I want to support you and say, and that's amazing. Growing up, I did not have that, because I was supposed to be a minister and all of those things for my father. And when I came out, I was kicked out of the house. No one talked to me for 10 years. And that's why it's 10 times more important for us to pass these things on. Anybody else have a memory, a moment? Holly, yes.
Torch Song Trilogy.
Oh.
Torch Song Trilogy. And
Harvey,
I saw the movie, and there's a theater group in town that's getting ready to do the play.
Wow.
And that is a powerful piece of, it's about, being gay and relationships and adopting a child.
Yeah, it's about a mom who
Yeah.
finds her way to accept her son. Yeah, it's amazing. I want to share really quick. You'll see there's going to be flyers out there, but it's for all of us, the company I created to work within the arts. I don't know if anybody's old enough. I'm ancient. Anybody's old enough to remember the movie V for Vendetta? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Natalie Portman. I remember going to the theater and seeing it and front row and wanting to stand up after and thank people for being there, because it was then was a very important movie. Now it's 10 times more important. And actually, on Saturday, August 16th, we were able to work with Warner Brother Pictures, and we're going to do a showing, because it's a way that, especially for people who are shyer, can stand up and say, this is the way I'm going to protest. It's red carpet, so you can feel fancy. I want everybody to feel amazing. I have an amazing photographer who will be there. But we're going to show this movie, and then we're going to, have a little cocktail hour for people who want to talk about what it brings up.
Where are they going to show that movie?
They're going to show that at the Magic Lantern. They've been nothing but wonderful. And I want to say one of my favorite quotes is on the flyer, and it's, when injustice becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. And that is exactly where I feel we are right now, because injustice has become law, and every day he tries to make more laws that it seems like we're living in an alternate universe. It doesn't seem right. So I want to start bringing things in so we can start talking and saying that this is, say to people, you don't have to be the one on the stage, but you know how helpful it is to be there to support the ones that are. It doesn't mean anybody's less. It takes all the pieces of the puzzle in order for these things to happen. And on that, I'm a history nerd and I'm a quote nerd. I love it. But what fascinates me about coffee shops and tea shops is, they started in the Middle East in the 1500s. And in the Ottoman Empire, they were the biggest, and it became a place where people could come and talk about what they felt about, like, what was going on in their politics, what was going on in the way finances were done. And I will tell you, even in the 1500s, the Ottoman Empire tried to ban those conversations. They tried to ban the places that they could exist. And so that can happen today. I guarantee you, he wishes he could ban conversations like this. I can tell you, when I go public with things, I get ugly emails and death threats and all of it. And that's weird to me. Yeah. That's scary. I welcome the conversation, but why would you want to silence someone so much? I will say, I talked about this in one of our past shows, which is, there is a political strategy called shock and awe. It's been in practice forever. And what it is I'm going to shock this world so much, make you so like, oh my God, I can't believe that's happening, that you will forget how to speak and what to do. And you're not going to look behind the curtain at what's really going on. It's a strategy that's being used now more than ever. It takes conversations like this to be able to go, wait a minute. I mean, even if you're... I think it's for all communities and marginalized communities, not just the queers. It's looking and going, why is it okay to say anyone should be silenced? You know what I mean? Listen, I'm a gay boy, have been my whole life, and I've had to live with going to the doctor's office and them putting their Bible verses in my face. I never said anything, because that's fine. You can do that. But then when my doctor, who was my doctor for 3 years, found out I was gay after 3 years, he refused to be my doctor. And I remember going to my car and thinking, oh my God. I was devastated, but then I kept thinking, what happens if there's some kid who walks in this doctor's office and they maybe don't feel as loud as I feel, and maybe they take it to a bad place. So if I have this ridiculous need to be on a stage, I don't have the right not to be on that stage. I need to keep talking until everybody can stand up next to me and feel like they are heard. And so until then, I will deal with the people who yell at me and who send me horrible emails. But and like everyone here trying to find a way, it was my way to go. This is my way.
Yeah.
It's not everybody's way. It's mine.
Queer existence is resistance.
Hell low.
Just being visible is important. If you feel empowered to be a visible queer person, that is supporting people you don't even know by sending that message that you can come out of things on the other side and have like a wholesome, loving, fulfilling life as a queer person.
Yeah. I live for the day, and it probably won't happen in my lifetime, when we just celebrate each other, just period. As a community, we see each other and go, doesn't matter what you look like, who you are, where you identify, because we're a community, and communities band together and celebrate each other and lift each other up.
Yes.
You know, those are the most important things. I want to say there is a quote from V for Vendetta that gets me every time, and it's terrifying. It says, "I remember how the meaning of words began to change. I remember how different became dangerous." And that, if you pay attention, is happening all around us. They are picking words, they're picking the way things are seen and deciding, how can we marginalize the people who are against me? And those people, we need to make them different. Look, we're deporting anybody we can think of right now, and it's a way to get rid of people so that they can have people that they think they can control. It's a fear tactic. It's an awful thing for the families that are going through it. But this is happening every time you turn around, every time we wake up in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
that's a hard one. Can't really make a joke out of that.
It is. And this is why I wanted to have this conversation. I wanted people to see each other. Like, are you here because you're kind of curious? So who here is like, how can I get plugged in to this, to what I can do? Or is this more of I needed to have this looked interesting, I needed to show up because I don't even know? Yeah, I know Jim and I had a conversation even before all of this, and so I have so much appreciate you being here, because like so many of us, he's feeling the same thing. He's feeling that I have to do something, but what do I do? Yeah. Over here, there's a question.
See, I feel like I'm showing up in exactly a way that when I learned the word showing up, I think it wasn't until I started therapy, so under 10 years ago, it changed the view of what does it look like to be in community. Oh, I'm feeling these disconnects. I'm feeling not like how I want to be and who I want to be around. So doing little bits of research. Where can I show up? And I'm here because I have had a great practice of showing up to the things that feel like they align with me. Like I do need to be here and visible and supporting my people, and it's just been exponentially the growth of my happiness has just been exponential.
And that's amazing. I will say, when we find each other in a community, no matter what that is, it changes everything.
We keep each other going.
Yeah. And it's whether a community thing, whether it's an artistic thing, but it's finding a way to feel connected, for first of all, to not feel as alone. Because I think that's what they want us to feel, is isolated. Because in isolation, let me tell you, the depression and everything comes in on you. I want to ask as well, I'm asking lots of questions for you guys, so I appreciate that you are participating. But as you were growing up, what sorts of people were you basically trained to fear?
Dolly Parton.
Wait, you were trained to fear Dolly Parton?
Yes, trained to fear Dolly Parton. Because, I mean, her description of how she wanted to show up was because she saw the town
Hussy.
and wanted to be like her.
Yeah, and she thought she was so beautiful.
Yeah, and so, I mean, it's been a wonderful 180, but my growing up was all tearing her down because of who she was. And
well, and even she was told, you can't pick this person and think they're beautiful. Why? Who's telling me what I can see is beautiful? And she had to fight that all the way. I mean, the woman's, 80 now? And still saying, we are all here together, right? that's the things I think about. I think about her team. The people who support her so she can be this amazing icon. I don't know if anybody has seen, there's a new documentary about Naomi Judd and her suicide. And I watched it, and it's amazing to watch how this woman struggled so much because she was told, you can't be a single mom, you can't have this baby, you can't, and look what they created. The amount of things you can create and influence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just about, you alone in this city have, and I don't think we think about it, we each have a sphere of influence.
Absolutely.
Because you hit those stages, your sphere is so much bigger, and it's such an important responsibility to have.
I love being able to connect people in Spokane with different resources and different parts of the community. I work by day at the Spokane Public Library, so that kind of ties into my professional life as well. But I am honored to know all the people that I do here in Spokane, and I think it's a city worth fighting for all of us.
Yeah, and our people, I look at people and I love humanity. That's what I connect to. I want humans to feel better. Like if you guys come to anything that we do, I want you to feel better than when you walked in this door. And also one of my biggest pet peeves in life is to have a meeting or gather people and then I just send you on your way. I want there to be an action you can take. One of the, Ducky has a list of things you can be involved in. What are some of the things that are out there?
Yes, to my list. So I thought about it a little bit, and I know that, like Johnny mentioned, we're not all comfortable being on the front line of a protest. It's legitimately not safe for some people. Right. So there are other ways to get involved. The Party for Socialism and Liberation has an Eastern Washington branch as well as one here in Spokane. And if you don't know about the Party for Socialism and Liberation, they basically believe that a lot of the problems confronting humanity today come from the unequal distribution of wealth. They feel like the minority is deciding what's going to be produced and what's not, and that the solution to that is socialism. So I have their social media. You can find PSL Spokane on Instagram. You can you can visit the national website and become a member, or you can find events that they host, and they do a lot of things here in Spokane, such as like banner painting parties and sign making parties. So you can show up, be creative, and help support the cause in an indirect way like that, where you're still getting together and connecting with people and supporting the protests at the same time. They just last Saturday, I believe it was, had a banner drop for Martin Diaz, a Free Martin Diaz rally. So if you don't know, he is someone that lived in the Valley who was illegally detained and is currently still being held, I believe, in Kittitas jail. Yeah. But a lot of people are outraged by that. It's terrifying. They lured him out of his house. And I know someone who came to the library last week and printed off a bunch of typewritten flyers that said Free Martin Diaz and just had 2 paragraphs about his situation, hid them in Easter eggs, and then went and disseminated those eggs all through like Riverfront Park as well as in Post Falls and Coeur d'Alene. And that's just another example of, you don't have to directly face people. If you are not the person that feels strong in engaging in conversations with people who have like a different view than you, there are a lot of little creative ways to still share your beliefs.
Well, and you mentioned you work at the library, and I think it's a resource in this town we don't. I mean, they have so many things.
Get a library card.
Yeah, get a library. It's free.
It is free.
And they have the History of Pride.
Yes, so the Pride History and Remembrance Project is actually having its grand unveiling this Sunday from 12 to 4. I believe it starts at 1. But that is a great way to see the history of the LGBT community in Spokane. Tomorrow, the library is having Zine Fest, and I really wanted to plug that because zines have a history of being like a political medium themselves. They are a low-budget DIY way to like self-publish your own material, basically, and that can be, you know, all sorts of mediums. It can be poetry, it can be drawing, it can be political philosophy, it can be like how to unionize your rental building, it can be anything. So that is happening from 11 to 4 tomorrow. They've got 67 different artists, vendors. Some people, you know, a lot of people give their zines away for free. I encourage you all to go and learn how to make one and put something in it that you care about and share that with someone.
And I also wanted to mention, we mentioned being on People Talk, which is on KYRS, which is a great independent radio place to find so many opinions.
Yes.
So many. And if you find a host, like Chris,
Yes.
Who does People Talk, it's also a way that you can email and say, hey, he's always spotlighting people in this town that are doing amazing things.
Yes.
And so even if you find a place there, because I know I'm not a one-stop shop.
You can also call into his show
Yeah.
and share your thoughts every Monday.
Yeah. And that's another way to go, okay, this is someone I can connect to and someone who can connect me to other people. Because, listen, I may be on a microphone, but I'm super awkward with people, and I know that. So I get it. If you feel like I don't know how to do it, start with an email. Start connecting to those. Talk to PJALs.
Yes.
They are amazing. They will let you email them, and you can ask them anything, and they will help plug you in to something in this town that you feel like your voice can be heard.
PJALs is really special because their whole vision is to advance peace through nonviolence. Yeah. So they do peacekeeper trainings for people who want to be helping in protests with de-escalation and reducing the need for city police to be present at these events. They offer those like de-escalation and peacekeeping trainings. They also just have a host of events where you can come and support protests or other community
right. And I think it's just important now that we're not on the couch, that we find a way to stand up and be visible. Because when we just be silent, that's when the people who want to oppress us win. And so my hope tonight was, how can we get plugged in to things that, and each of us, things speak to us differently, right? There's something that we get connected to, and there are so many resources in Spokane that if you reach out and find them, you will find a way to be heard. Because I think another favorite quote of mine is, nothing changes if nothing changes. So just make the action and watch the ripples around you. These are amazing resources. And honestly, if you email us, like the website's at the bottom there, we will send you those resources that Ducky has been helping so that you know places where you can be. So I think that's important.
Yeah, ask me anything. Anytime you see me riding the bus, or if you come to the downtown library and you want to know how to get plugged in to whatever community it is, even if I don't know about it yet, I will help you find a way.
Yeah, and I understand feeling frustrated, but sometimes you just have to start. You know what I mean? Sometimes, because it's hard to know. So sometimes if you just start, it begins. And we all know, if it wasn't for the friends we surround ourselves with, for the family, that can make us feel hopeless. So when you start building community up, that is where you start feeling the resistance, really, feeling the power. And I have to say, another great quote is, artists use lies to tell the truth. Politicians use them to cover it up. And that's what's amazing to me about art. That's what's amazing about film, about theater, about music. It's the one thing that comes from such a deep space that whether people like it or not, no one can deny that that is your truth.
Yeah.
And you are sharing your truth and giving
A lot
them
of
place.
art transcends language too.
Yes. Do we have any questions in the audience at all? Other than, how can you be even more fabulous? Because we will help you with that as well. We will do that. Anybody have any questions while we begin to wrap up this conversation? Anyone? Anyone? I'm going to kind of begin to...
Basil has
we
a
have one.
question.
Yes.
In the back. Oh, comment?
I wanted to make a comment based on what you were talking about earlier when, what were you raised to fear?
Yeah.
And it wasn't when I was younger, but when I was previously married, I was trained to fear the Nazis, the Republicans, the right-wingers. And this was at a time when I was coming out as transgender, and it helped defer my transition for a long time.
Yeah.
And that's definitely something that has been a really powerful thing to outgrow.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, the only way to get past that hatred is to hopefully find a way to connect, and then you help each other out. And then, I mean, I'm not saying it's easy if it's a Nazi or something, but I'm saying if we would stop and just connect on humanity, I think, because in the end, we're all in this world together. None of us are getting out alive. So how can we find a way to find our common ground? Deep down in everyone, there's humanity, and we need to find a way to connect with it. I want to now, you've all heard this quote. It's a cliche at this point, and yet it's the most powerful thing ever. And I think everybody should be thinking about this. Even people who, are, pro-Trump or whatever. And don't roll your eyes, it's still a beautiful quote. But first they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists. I didn't speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews. And again, I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. But then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak. That's the thing we forget about communities and about seeing each other as people. We can, if you put the face of a monster on anyone, it's easy to hate them. But when you see them, when they show their humanity, it makes it harder because you feel it. Like just reading that quote gave me chills because it's truth. So everybody should be standing up for everybody, because what happens on the day they come for you and knock on your door and no one's there to protect you? So we can't sit back and be, apathetic anymore. We can't be like, that's my neighbor. None of us talk to our neighbors anymore. That I can't do anything because I don't really want to talk to people. Well, again, I want to say the luxury of those days is over. Like, it should have never happened. I think that we have been programmed over the last few decades to disengage. And that has been, look when they took away Roe v. Wade. That was 50 years they were planning that. 50 years. Listen, the things we're up against, the people we're up against, they're not stupid. They have been working hard. So we have to work harder. We have to find our way to be visible and to be seen. And
Kick and scream.
Yes.
Kick and scream.
Kicking the whole way. Because if I'm going down, I want everybody to know I'm going down. And those are just what Ducky was listing, those resources that we have. That just scratches the surface.
Barely. I didn't even mention Odyssey or Spectrum,
Right.
which are both LGBTQ organizations here in Spokane that are wonderful places to support. They do Pride in Perry at the end of June. Spectrum has amazing support for our community with their gender affirming products program and so much more. Name change clinics, really putting their money where their mouth is when it comes to supporting the community.
And I have to say, we need to support each other. Like you may not like the art that I present, and that's okay. But we can't spend our time tearing each other down because we don't understand or we don't see. We need to be cheerleaders. We need to be like, well, I may not get it, but you are doing stuff. You are out there. And we need to support each other instead of cannibalize our own community. We need to grow and be full of love. Let's be,
Growth happens through difficult conversations.
Yeah.
I fully believe that. And I think that there are some people that are too far gone. Some people that we know that we can't have productive conversations with.
Right.
But there are other people, I think, that we assume that we know certain things about them, or we see certain beliefs that they have, that if you are able to have a conversation in good faith with someone and it's something you're comfortable with doing, it can have a huge impact in changing someone's mind.
And I have to say, one of the things that shock and awe strategy does is it tries to get you so worked up that you don't even know where to start. So if there's one thing I hope people take away, and sometimes you're like, I don't know who to reach out to. I hope tonight you take the moment to ask other people, because you don't have to be alone. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just be like, I'm trying, but just go tonight and look for the resources that are out there, because they exist, but sometimes it's hard to know where to even begin. And so tonight is all about how can we inspire you to find something that speaks to your soul, that makes you not feel powerless.
Even if it's just creating art. I mean, it doesn't have to be something that you sell or that you even show, but art is therapeutic.
And that's true. And building community around food is something that we've done for centuries. Why can't, it doesn't have to be something, like in your head, you don't have to be like, oh, that's a stupid idea. No, it's not.
No.
Any
Take a
way
cooking
we can
class from
connect.
one of our wonderful Feast World Kitchen, refugees that comes in and supports our community. Yes. Yes. Yeah, art does not have to be highbrow and expensive and elegant. It can be DIY and it can be angry and raggedy.
That art the definition of art is so broad.
Yeah, Basil.
Speaking of community stuff, we have a board over here.
Yes.
We have a board over here. We have different art and craft groups that get together on a super small scale for community, just person to person.
They even have science book club.
Right?
And what's fascinating, I've said this many times about Lunarium, I am a coffeeaholic. I wrote a blog for years when I lived in LA called The Caffeinated Nomad, because I wanted to always discover a new place. But what is fascinating, it's hard in Spokane, we can be a little conservative. I had not found, I go to all these places. I hadn't found a place where I felt like I could just be me. There was a lot going on in some of these places where it didn't make me feel good. And it's okay for them, if you're religious or whatever, but it made me feel, because of my history. And then I came here and I was like, the walk of life of everyone who lives, they get to be exactly who they are. And I felt like, okay, this is the kind of place I want to be, because everyone is welcome. It's the way I live my life. Yeah. Everybody is welcome, come as you are. I love collecting people and being friends and finding those connections. So I just want to encourage everybody not to get so in a box. Just the fact, I love that the suggestion of cooking and building community around that. Because I'm stuck in I love to do big events and I love to do movies and I love to be, but I never would have thought of, I shouldn't cook. So if I do have an event, just check to make sure someone else is cooking. But those are the kinds of things we need to do, because we need to find each other right now. Everybody. We need to find our people, the people we feel safe with and comfortable with, and that we can be excited to be around. Jim, did you have something extra?
One more thing, I guess. I didn't anticipate this thing about art. It's so powerful. And the Native Americans have history with this over on the west side too. There weren't just standalone Michelangelos in their tribes. Yeah. Every single person was involved in making art.
Yes.
It was art to them.
Yes.
Everyone can do art.
Yes.
Yes.
Their clothing, their utensils, their spoons, their canoe, their house, everything was literally art.
Yeah.
We know as modern different individuals that art is a spiritual endeavor.
Yeah.
So these tribes were filled with spirit, spirit energy. And the most beautiful thing about spirit energy is that you don't have to believe in it. You don't have to pay attention to it. If you're working hard on your art, if you're regularly visiting nature, you're getting in that spirit energy that can infuse itself into it.
Yeah. Yes.
It becomes a
Connecting
part
with
of who you
nature
are.
too is another way.
I truly believe if we spend time creating community, that's going to change a lot of our world. And we need to do that. I do want to, because I'm a shameless plug. I do want to say, come see it. If you haven't seen this movie, see this movie. You'll feel celebrated, because I like everybody to feel celebrated. You get to be fancy and on a red carpet and your picture taken. And then you see this movie that I guarantee, if you haven't seen it, will blow you away. And will give you things to think about and go, it's a movie that causes you to take action in some way. And so I really do hope you'll watch. There'll be a lot of advertising for it as we get to August 16th. But just find the things and support the things out there when people are trying to change things.
Yeah.
We have to show up. I thank everybody who's in this room right now.
Yes, thank you all.
Because it's amazing to come together and go, I'm lost. Are you lost? Oh, let's be lost together and find our way forward. My sweet, dear, amazing guest, Ducky. Do you have anything you'd like to give at the end here?
I want to touch on something that you said earlier about everyone has the capacity to create art, and it doesn't have to go by any other person's standard. If it's something that makes you feel good and it's an outlet to express those beliefs, whether you share it with people or not, I think that's amazing. And I think that more people should feel less afraid to try and just create something. You don't have to judge it as good or bad. Sometimes you can be really surprised at the outcomes and the results of having the courage to share that with other people and seeing the reaction and the connection that comes from that.
Our last community conversation is going to be Friday, July 18th. I would challenge everybody here, if you have gone out and found a connection, however it is, you've started to create community. That whole last conversation is called the evolving definition of community. And I would love it if you would come share with us where you were able to find at least the beginning of that community, because that's important. And if we share it with each other, it might just convince someone else to go, I need that. I want that specific in my life too. So please keep watching for it, but July 18th, hopefully you'll be back.
Yeah, and then there's really something just about every damn night happening here at Lunarium.
Oh, always. Look at their calendar.
Check out their community calendar or just show up and see what's going on.
Just step up. Yes, back there.
So, my name's Phil, and I'm the editor of Spokane Pride 365.
Oh, I know who you are. We talked.
Hi,
Got
Phil.
I've been working day and night, 1,000 hours in the last few months. So I moved here last year, and I'm like, okay, we have Odyssey, we have Spectrum, we have Pride, we have all these wonderful things, but why isn't it in one place? Somebody needs to do it. I'm someone.
Phil.
I'll do it. So I'm retired from the military, did 22 years in the military, and so I have time. I'm retired, for goodness sakes. So I put this 170-page document together. It's called Spokane Pride 365 at gmail.com.
Okay.
Request it right now, and I will send it to you. Spokane Pride 365 at gmail.com, and I will send it to you. And it will connect you to a million zillion things, including Lunarium is on there.
Yes.
So tomorrow, because I'm a volunteer at Pride, of course, is our orientation for volunteers.
Yes.
So pull it up. It's at 9, the place called 9, of course, just so there's no confusion, but it's at 10 a.m.
Okay.
So it's at 9 at 10. So at the location 9 at 10 a.m. The Zine Fest, of course, is 11 to 4 tomorrow. Protect Drag in Idaho is also tomorrow. It's also at 9, but it's at 5 p.m. And then on Sunday, Queer Brunch, House of Brunch is at 10 a.m. Pride History at the Central Library, noon to 2. and then we have
Damn,
a
this
closed
guy's got more
board
plugs
meeting
than
at
me.
5 p.m. So
Yes.
we have a lot of stuff going on, and Spectrum has a new pantry. So please bring food to the Spectrum pantry. Of course, Sam Pride has a pantry.
Spokane AIDS Network
Yes.
and Pride Center. They share a building on
Go
Sprague.
to our pantry, please, and thank you.
Yes.
Sign up right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
And remember, anybody can volunteer. Allies are just as important as people in the queer community. There's something for everyone, whether you're in the queer community, whether some of the things we listed already in PGLs. We are not an island. Each of us should connect to anyone and everyone.
Yes, Pride is June 14th.
Yeah, and we're all scared. So
Yeah.
if we are scared together, it creates power.
If you haven't walked in the parade, do it. You don't
Right.
have to even know anybody.
Right.
You can literally just join in on the route at any point in the parade. And I think that it's a special perspective, and it does make you feel so much part of this huge group. And the celebration, on the day of Pride, as you're walking through downtown and feeling seen and feeling visible, it can be a little scary, but it's also exhilarating. And I truly believe that everyone should walk in Pride at least once if you haven't, or ride your bike or whatever it is that
There
you
are
do.
free mom hugs, and they're the
Yes.
best thing in the world. These random mothers who want you to feel love. It's my favorite thing. So free mom hugs. There's so much in our community that we can keep and take back and begin. We're lucky we're in Washington State. It's very blue. And we need that because a lot of the red states are getting kind of scary. Given they can still come after us, but thank God we still have a blue state. Let's do everything we can while you got it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I just want to say thank you to everybody who's here. On my website, thequeercentric.com, you can come and see all the things we're up to. And it's really just Johnny being loud. And I do things that are queer-based and things that aren't queer-based. All I want is to empower each and everybody that's right here, right now. And your faces do me so good. I like looking out here and people smile at me. I'm weird. So if you smile at me, I'm like, that's so sweet. I take it. So thank you all for coming out. Oh, Ducky, Loveless, you're one of my favorite people. Thank you.
Come see me on Friday the 13th at Lavender Menace. It's going to be at Berserk Bar, and it's basically celebrating sapphic queerness and a little bit of leather and a little bit of badassery. Just kind
Badassery
of
is my favorite thing ever.
Yeah, just kind of a pride kickoff the day before, Friday the 13th at Berserk.
And let's celebrate each other. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you hopefully on the 18th of July. Thank you.
I don't really know what comes next. I'm just doing my best, even though I'm so stressed out. Everything just feels like a test that I fail, so depressed when I can't seem to get out. But something deep inside won't let me